So, are they avoidant? Or do they have ADHD? Or possibly both? The other night, I came to a big realization after comparing the patterns of someone who had avoidant attachment and someone who has ADHD. Something just clicked, and I thought to myself, this actually makes sense now. The patterns of ADHD and the avoidant attachment style are very similar. For example, they both pull away after getting close. Both have the tendency to shut down in emotional moments, and especially needing space out of nowhere. But then I started noticing little things that didn't quite fit. It wasn't the usual, I'm scared of love energy. It was more like they were just overwhelmed. That's when I realized, oh my God, what if this isn't avoidant behavior at all? What if it's ADHD showing up in disguise? Here's the wild part. ADHD and avoidant attachment can look almost identical from the outside, but they come from completely different places. Someone with ADHD might pull away not because they're afraid of closeness, but because their brain is overstimulated. They both can feel everything so deeply: love, excitement, anxiety, and it all hits them at once, which can feel overwhelming, and they run for the hills so they can process and regulate their emotions. So when things get emotionally intense, they might need to shut down for a minute just to breathe. That can look like ghosting, mixed signals, or suddenly going quiet. But it's not rejection. It's them needing to regulate these intense emotions. Now, for an avoidant person, they also pull away, but for the opposite reason. They've learned that closeness equals danger. The danger is stored in their nervous system. For example, maybe growing up when they needed closeness for emotional regulation, they were shut down by their caregivers, so they learned to cope with heavy emotions on their own. This pattern will show up later in life in a romantic relationship. When heavy emotions arise, they go back to their childhood pattern and shut down, ghost, or go in solitude to regulate them. Both types can seem distant. Both can crave connection, but need space. And both might leave you wondering, did I do something wrong? Here's the difference though. The ADHD brain says, I'm overwhelmed. I just need a minute to reset. The avoidant says, I'm scared. I don't know if I can handle being this close. One's protecting their nervous system, the other's protecting their heart. Same behavior, but totally different reason. And honestly, that realization changed everything for me. When really, this person was just trying to manage the flood of emotion their brain couldn't process all at once. So if you're ever in a situation where someone's pulling back and you can't tell what's going on, look at why. Are they afraid of intimacy, or are they simply overstimulated by it? Do they run from emotional depth, or do they just need a break from it? Sometimes it's not about avoidance at all. Sometimes it's about trying to find balance in the middle of all that intensity. And when you can tell the difference, you stop taking it so personally. You start seeing the human underneath the pattern, because sometimes distance isn't rejection. It's just someone trying to regulate what their heart and brain can't hold all at once. And honestly, once you see it that way, it changes everything. Okay, if that gave you an aha moment, tell me in the comments. Seriously, awareness is everything. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and I'll meet you back here for the next deep dive.